All right, guys, closing it out. We got from CNBC, mortgage rates are dropping. Here's what to expect in 2024 if you want to buy a home, experts say. Quick bullet points. After a year full of record high interest rates and home prices, experts say there are signs of improvement for the housing market in 2024. In December, the average mortgage rates dropped below 7% for the first time since August, and after an 8% peak in October, which pushed housing costs to the highest level since 2000. That I always hate references that are decades old. And the decline poses good news for buyers, said Jessica Lotz, Deputy Chief and Vice President of Research at the National Association of Realtors.
Yeah.
So for me right here, what stands out, the biggest thing is, however, consumers may still feel discouraged, added Lotz, as affordability may still be a challenge, which, I agree so because of the fact that if even rates come down, more people are going to flood, so prices are going to remain the same. It's going to help a few people, the people that, have that income or got that income boost, like military people getting an increase on their BH and BAS.
Yes,
make sure you
congratulations, by the way.
Welcome.
Yes.
But like I said, if people don't have a higher income and they have the exact same situation as last year, the rate might help a little bit, but you can only go as far as your income and your debt's going to let you go. And the rate might help, but it's not going to be a drastic like, hey, they dropped 0.5%. Now I can afford 150K more.
I mean, they may also be considering the fact that consumer debt is the all-time
$1
high.
trillion.
You know what I mean? So all these things will factor in.
Yeah. Well, again, this mentions home builders once again, and I think that getting home builders, maybe I'm not going to say inspired, that's probably too strong, encouraged to pull more permits, build more homes, put some money on the line, and actually try to come up with some more inventory. It's clear that there's an inventory shortage. So it should be a lesser risk for them to build in 2024 and 25 than it might have been in 22 and 23. I get that, especially in a rising interest rate environment, which we were in since March of 2022. Yeah. So I think that the reference of home builders here being encouraged, not inspired, but encouraged, is good. And I think that, this is probably too large of a prediction, but maybe not. We'll look back and you guys can throw a pie at my face if I'm wrong. But this will probably be the same window now for people as December of 2021 was, right? Before 22 hit. There was this spot where housing prices were good, rates were all right, and then boom, March 22, everything started taking off. I think that it rocketed all the way, and then now it's kind of settled. And I think it's settled, and it's about to go again.
You know what that brings me back to, Andy? Now that you mentioned that, you know what that brings me back to? Back in 2008, when I was in 7th grade, running a mile.
I was going to say.
What was I thinking running a mile in PE when I could have been out getting real estate and building equity? What was I thinking? If you're in 7th grade right now, just stop.
This guy really trying to just make an age reference about the market.
Exactly.
Tell us how old we are. Look, man, I've been bold forever. I do believe what it says in the article is that the American dream is still owning a home. I really do believe that is for so many people. There's such a large percentage of people where that achieving the quote unquote American dream is buying a house.
Yeah.
And this is going to be that window. In my opinion, this is it. Because again, it would have to take something catastrophic for home prices to just take a nosedive. And we don't have the inventory. We have more demand still than we do.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying that San Diego is a microcosm of everything else that's happening in the country. It's not, actually. It really isn't. What was that article a couple weeks ago came out? San Diego's the least affordable place to live in the country, per capita. I'm like, oh, that sucks, because that means we surpassed New York, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Miami. I'm like, those are the big dogs, and somehow we climbed the top.
And we're one of the states with the least amount of supply too.
And if this is the most expensive city, wouldn't you look at that hey, maybe I should invest there if you're able to?
Well, I don't know. That's a short-lived argument because we just surpassed like I said, Miami, New York, Los Angeles. Oh, Los Angeles is the most expensive city. Shouldn't you move here? No.
Please don't. We don't want your traffic.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna just step up.
Be
quiet on that one.
No, but to your point earlier, Brian, I think this is the window for younger generations. Honestly, so if you are under the age of 40 right now and you have not yet bought a house, do this now when you're in your maybe peak income earning years, or you're about to cross the threshold of those peak earning years. This is when you should be honest and be serious about making the right calls, the right emails, and figuring out where you're at now, where you got to be in order to buy a house, and then just determine if it's right for you to do or not.
And I'm going to go out on a limb and say, as a younger generation, I believe we value more experiences and our discretionary spending, that also plays a big part in where we want to live. Because if we say, hey, I got a payment of $4,000, but then that only leaves me $500 to live my life, people are going to double
That's
think and
tough.
say, hey, I don't want to do that because I still want to live my life in the way that I've been living.
Yeah.
And I feel that's a mentality that the younger generation has adopted because of the fact that we want everything so fast. Whereas people that are an old generation, they're okay with saving that money up. They're okay with staying in the house for 10 plus years. Whereas a millennial or a younger generation is actually looking at it like, well, how much can I make in equity if I hold it for three years? Or
Right.
how can I house hack to make sure I still have enough discretionary income or money to be able to live my life?
Yeah.
And I think it's at a clash of generations where, you know, some people are looking at one way, other people are looking at it another way, but the economy isn't helping anybody's climate.
Yeah, I mean, people are going to make their own decision based on the behavior, their
Yeah.
experience. Yes, and I do think generationally they bring some difference to the table, but that's why I'm advocating for it. If you are
Yeah.
trying to have the America dream or own a piece of it, whatever you want to call it, do that now. Like, figure it out and ask the questions and then just cope with the answer and then decide, okay, the answer isn't what I want. Cool, fix it. What do you got to adjust? If the answer is better than you want, cool, then what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, everything's a sacrifice. Make the sacrifice and believe that you will win, because I believe that you will win.
Santa
wow.
Claus said the San Diego State was
Someone-
going to beat
That's it.
Stanford.
Someone-
I believe that we will
Last
win.
week-
I believe that.
Someone went to
Let's go. Let's
someone
do
went
this.
to San Diego State
And I
game
came with
recently.
that fire, you know? So I'm good with it.
All right.
One
well-
last thing I will say about affordability is that everybody has a different situation, right? You got people that are married with children, people that are married with no children, people that are single, people that are single with children. So all that takes into factor that, you know, a lot of people are going to have different affordability levels. So therefore, you know, depending on where you're at, that's going to play a huge part of what you can afford and where you could go live. So really, really for me this year, bunker down on financial literacy, save and have and know where your money is going.
Correct. I mean, if you're already renting, well, you know,
Even better, you have time
Yeah.
to make a plan.
Well, and you know what you can afford already. Whatever
Yeah,
you're paying for
exactly.
rent, you can afford and still pay all your bills. You're not going to debt. Then there's your
Use it as a
bottom line.
baseline.
Yep, that's right.
all right. Awesome.
Okay, guys. So
guys, I can't believe Christmas is over.
that's right. I know, isn't that weird?
That's crazy.
Like the year passed super fast. I mean,
Crazy.
I'm excited for New Year's
I
coming
honestly still felt like I wanted to come over here and be dressed like Santa.
up. Yeah, no, don't. I'm glad you didn't. Yeah, thank you for that.
Even though I
but
feel like Santa now.
Before we sign off for the last show of the year, Memo, favorite part of your show today?
You know, favorite part of my show again is just seeing the optimism of our 2024, because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like even myself, I need to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Even though we understand data and all this stuff, you know, seeing this information, seeing, you know, unemployment going up, inflation going down, kind of teeter-totting with one another, it just makes me feel like there's light at the end of the tunnel. And hearing this news that the rates, you know, the Fed funds rate will actually start being reduced, it makes me feel good. So
Good.
seeing the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, I like that. Brian, how about you? Favorite part of the show?
Favorite part of the show, of course, being back with the boys.
Yeah. Welcome back, by the way.
No, but in all truthfulness, for me, it's, you know, having a positive outlook ending the year. Last year was so much uncertainty going into 2023, not knowing what was going to happen. Thankfully, this year we've, you know, been following the news, we've been following the data, and based on what we've been noticing, we think things are going to get a little bit better and things are looking more positive. Now, I'm not saying things are going to get great, but we're having a more positive outlook. And I like that because a lot of more people are starting to really pay attention, read between the headlines, and actually understand what the data means for you, your situation, and how that could empower
Yeah.
you.
And, you know, I'm going to just mention because you say the news. To us, I hear the news, Fox News, CNN. No, we're getting this information, data, news from the right people.
Housing sources.
Housing sources, real
you know,
data.
people that this is what they do day in, day out. They monitor home sales, pending sales, you know, everything, and that's who we follow.
It's data, not opinions.
There you go.
My favorite part of the show, guys, is going to be this quote because it is what I believe is going to carry us into 2024 is first-time buyers stand a chance at this period of time. It's a trade-off. Do they want to run the risk of encountering higher competition when rates are lower, or do they want to increase the probability of securing home ownership? I think that is going to be the great test of 2024. It's a massive prediction, I know, but I honestly think it will be the difference of that generation owning and obtaining wealth, that 40x like you've talked about before,
Yeah.
or not.
Let's
And
go.
Let's go. I like that, you know, to go off of that. Listen, it's a new year. Start your new year with the bang. Start preparing now.
That's right.
You know, so that'll be like a good New Year's resolution is have that 40%. And we will love to be the contributors to that and help you get to that 40% wealth, you know?
40x.
That's
40x.
40 times, yeah.
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 It's okay. I'll take 40%.
Yeah,
40%, 40x.
Yeah,
is good.
40x.